So Lee, first question for you. The game against Partick was also an important game for their third place in the table. How do you rate the draw?
I think for ourselves, we've not had a good record up at Partick Thistle over the last 2 or 3 seasons, so I think it was a very important point. It was probably a fair result, but either team could have, with a little bit of luck, nicked the game. We had a goal chopped off for offside in the last 2 or 3 minutes. They hit the post with 15 minutes to go. Really tough game where, as I say, we've not had many positive results there, so we take the point and we move on.
And question for you, Roy. So, as Dan said, Tuesday was a battling comeback against Partick. How did you find the game compared to the home game against them?
You can just see the massive improvements from a couple of weeks ago when we played them at home. We were so structured, organised, and I think we just felt so comfortable as a team. When we did break, we looked like we were going to score. And even when we were in that low block at sometimes, just keeping our shape, we felt comfortable, thinking that like we can just ride out whatever they throw at us. So big improvements, and obviously just continue, keep going like that really.
And back to you, Lee. With 1 point from your last 2, what are you telling the team to try and shift momentum?
It's really, really harsh, I think, that 1 point. Don't get me wrong, I think both games should have finished as draws. We got sucker punched against Morton in the last 2 minutes of the game. Did we do enough to win either of the games? Probably not. Did we deserve to lose the game against Morton? Absolutely not. So, listen, 2 tough games that we know, both physical games. So I don't think it's about shifting momentum in any way. It's about keeping the confidence, working on what we did really well in the game, and take that into a Queen's Park game against. It'll be a completely different type of game because of their style of play, Queen's Park compared to Partick and Morton. So we've just got to prepare right for that and do our homework and be ready to go again.
Roy, back to you. Looking forward to Queen's Park on Saturday. How did you enjoy playing at Hampton against them last time?
I think the boys really enjoyed obviously playing at Hampton, the surface, everything was fantastic. As much as it helps them with their style of play, it actually helped us as well, because I think we have ability to play, and we showed that against them when our goals came from just quick breaks with playing quick out wide and then everyone bursting to make the box. Obviously great result as well, so we should be going into the next game full of confidence against them.
Another question to you, Roy. What's been the main difference between playing with Brantford B to Ayr United?
I think the main difference would be the fans playing. Obviously, when we do win games, it's been the satisfaction you get from winning is just completely different. Everyone, just the whole atmosphere is just everyone's excited and happy. And then on the flip side as well, when you do lose, you see how much it affects everyone and how just important it means to literally not just us but to fans and everyone that's involved. So I think that's the main difference. It's just the effect each game has on everyone.
And over to you, Lee. How have you found the performances from Roy so far, and what has he brought to the team since he's arrived?
Roy's fitted in brilliantly. We were really impressed with what we saw when we did our due diligence on him as a player. Attitude was always spot on, and I'm very lucky. I know 2 of the coaches at Brentford really, really well, so I knew they would be honest in their description of how Roy would play and things like that, and I think he's fitted in. Listen, as anybody does, to lose 3 players the first game of the season and have to bring in 3 brand new midfielders, it's always going to take 3 or 4 games to bed in. I thought it would be nearer 8, 9, 10 games, but the guys that have come in, Roy included, have fitted in very, very quickly, and they picked up a lot of the strengths and weaknesses of our own individual players, and our individual players have picked up how Roy, and it was Jay and Jack that have also come in with Roy at the same time, and that's a massive part of our improved performances, just getting used to these lads. It was always going to take 3 or 4, 5 games for them to settle in, and the fact that now our results are picking up is down to these guys getting settled into Scottish football as well.
Lee, now the game against Queen's Park is coming up. Queen's Park have not won any of their last 5 matches. Would you say a win is mandatory?
I'm going to say you've put us under pressure with that quote, absolutely. No win's mandatory in this championship. Anybody can beat anybody. They drew with Partick Thistle their last game, we drew with Partick Thistle our last game. Anything can happen. They play a really strong brand of football. They have a very, very young squad with lots of energy, but we've proved we can beat them. and that's got to be the aim as well. We've got to be disciplined in our shape when we don't have the ball, but we know we have good individual players that can go and hurt them as well, as we proved in the first game. So that's got to be the plan, but we'll show them all the respect they deserve. They have a good coach, they have a good game plan, and they've got good, young, fit young players.
And for you, Roy, how have you found your time in Scotland so far?
I'm really enjoying it. I think in the short space of time I've been here, I've already had many different experiences. From obviously at the beginning where we weren't doing as well as we would have liked, being in that environment, to then reacting in seeing everyone focus in training, and then getting to a stage where we are now, where we're building up the table, improving every single game. It's just obviously now, just seeing how things change all the time. It's been really good.
Last question to you, Roy. You're living with Jack Young. How's that been, and who does the hooering?
It's actually been, Jack's a good person to live with. Like he does keep to himself as well. He just stays in the living room, watches his TV. But when it comes to the cleaning, that's me, to be fair. I do all the cleaning. He does help, but I'm just one of those guys that likes to make sure everything is perfect. So if anything, he's probably struggling to live with me, because I actually am very picky with everything. Yeah.